Alright, so now we've got the Marvel Universe, as it says up here at the top. Marvel Universe, Return of Marvel Legends. Marvel Legends, so I guess it's Marvel Legends by way of Marvel Universe. So, interesting. Yeah, Captain America and his new digs, fairly new digs. He's a pretty cool figure. Talking to the guys at the 2011 Comic-Con, they had the Build-A-Figure Terrax out there in one of his prototype forms. He wasn't assembled or painted. You know, you could tell the quality overall was a lot better than what it had been previously in the Marvel Legends. I mean, some of the later lines in the previous series of the original Marvel Legends line were really good, and this really continues and goes a little bit beyond that. This may not be the best figure out of the line. He does have a couple of flaws that I'm not really thrilled about. There's one part of his character design that I didn't really get, but we'll talk about that once we get him out of the box. He does come with the Terrax lower torso, two pistols, and the shield. It has a little diagram here of what figure number has what part, I guess. Somehow or another, Ghost Rider, one of the ones that's really hard to find, has both arms. So I'm sure there's a bunch of armless Terraxes out there. You can see the full art, that there was a splash on the front, and this is pretty much the full art on the back there. He's on the helicarrier, it looks like. And then it goes into the rest of the guys in the line. And to note, the Hope Summers, there's actually a variant for her and a variant for the Ghost Rider, which the variant for the Ghost Rider is the orange flame version, I guess. So that's interesting. Also, there's a variant of the Thor, kind of, if you include the 2011 Comic-Con exclusive that had like the lightning coming down his body, and he came packaged inside of a hammer, to where the hammer itself held Thor with a window, and then the handle that was attached to it held a poster. So that was pretty cool. But I like the packaging a little better than the big, huge plastic clamshell they had before. That was just a lot of plastic, and you know, I do like keeping some characters carded because I may not want to take them out, but I want to have them for the set or whatever. So the big plastic packaging, for some reason, seemed to get dinged up a lot more than the smaller cardboard backed ones. I don't know why, but somehow that seemed the case. Like the two different materials seem to balance each other out a little bit better. Yeah. So we'll open them up and check them out. Here's a guns a-blazing Steve Rogers there. He poses up pretty good. He can hold both his pistols and then store his shield on the back. Mainly, well, not mainly, but with this little tab that sticks out. Then, of course, you flip it over, and now you have the little wrist grabbing portion there. Just snaps right on, and now he's got it clipped on his wrist. So that's pretty cool. I mean, it's pretty standard with the smaller figures. The older Captain America figures had the strap, and I'll show you when I compare him to the older Legends Cap. But yeah, here he is. The face sculpt is pretty intense. It's really done really well. Just one of the problems I have is that hideous neck joint. They couldn't do a giant ball or something like that. I mean, when you compare this guy to this guy, I mean, it's like night and day as far as the aesthetics. You know, he's got his flaws too, but I mean, I think overall it's just a better looking figure, the way the sculpt flows and everything. This guy's head seems a little large. As far as the character design flaw, I don't know what is going on with these non-holstery straps hanging down. They don't attach to anything. Nothing attaches to them. They're just there for looks. Which, if they just made like a loop to put his pistols in, that'd have been awesome. Yeah, decent striping on the side of the legs. A lot of little detail, like the buckles, the stripes, the wash. You know, his chest detail, and it's okay. You look really close at it, and it's kind of like, eh. you know, seen better, but it's not too bad. I mean, the hands are done really well. You know, the knuckles are a little soft from the mask they used on there to get that done, but it's not too bad. I just don't care for the character design. Straps hanging down with no purpose, and as far as the sculpt goes, the crazy neck joint that I was hoping we were done with. You know, you can put his head down like that and it looks fine. And then of course he has the big hole in his back for his shield. So, I think they're minor flaws. One of the things design-wise, I try to ask the guys at Comic-Con about what's going on with this the Marvel infamous hip swivel leg thing, and it seems to have improved, but you still gotta mess with it to get it where you want it. It's just not as intuitive as the DCU figures with their rotate up, rotate out type joint. I think that joint actually sculpturally is a little bit superior to the Marvel ball, but you know, to each his own, I guess. Oh yeah, there's Steve. He has the pseudo ball joint at the head. You get all the movement out of it you need. He does have ab crunch. He's got the full shoulder, which actually they're missing the stars. There, if you look, he's missing his shoulder stars that are actually present on the smaller figure, even though they have basically the same articulation. So, yeah, go figure on that one. It's got the typical Marvel Legends double jointed elbow, which is okay. It's just a little unsightly there. The wrist, instead of being separated at the color separation at the glove, they separated at the middle of the forearm. So I don't know what they were thinking with that. Maybe for strength or something, partially due to the shield, possibly. But I think it would have been better if they had actually separated at the color demarcation between the glove and the forearm there. It's got a good sculpt on the hands. He does have a waist swivel. Has the infamous Marvel ball thigh joint there that does whatever it does. You got this separately molded soft plastic strap. You've got a double jointed knee, which it's alright. It looks okay from the side. It's not too bad. And you do have that back kind of chunkiness kind of going on there, just the way it's just, you know, made for strength. No swivel, except for at the top of the leg. You do have ankle articulation. It does move up and down, and it does turn. And the boots are nice and shiny black there, with a good bit of detail. Nice, got some peg holes and nice tread pattern there. It doesn't really have a rock or anything like that. So, you know, it's your basic standard articulation for this scale figure. So, would I recommend him? Yeah, I think so. I just think his head's a little large, especially when you compare it to the other Legends figures, which they had their own flaws, of course. But you can tell from their from the scaling, just they're roughly the same height. I mean, his shoulders are up a little higher than his shoulders, but essentially they're pretty close. But this dude has got a huge noggin. And then the older figures, you know, they painted the back of the shield, which is cool. I mean, this one does have some molded in detail, which is, you know, nice. But, you know, I think I would have rather had the straps instead of that molded on detail. But, you know, for a upgraded Cap figure, it's not bad. I mean, I like the old Cap figure so much that I got both versions. So, I think the new one sports a better mug. This looks more like a Eddie Brock than I would think of a Steve Rogers, but whatever, I'm not a sculptor. But, you know, all in all, as far as the quality of the figure, it's good. I mean, I'll give it a 8 out of 10. I think there's a couple of flaws they could have fixed. And as far as the way the figure looks, it looks good. It's pretty accurate to the comic book. Just missing some details on there, so I'd have to go 8 on that.